Hey, what's up, guys? This is a Patreon video request. Someone asked me to go over advanced parallel compression techniques. I'm going to do just that. This is also known as New York compression. And what it is you have your dry signal and a very heavily compressed signal going on together. So you get the heavily compressed sound, and then you maintain the transparency of the dry signal. I'm going to set something up. I'm going to drop in a compressor. I'm just going to use the Ableton compressor for the time being. I'm going to right click on that and then hit group, and that will create an audio effect rack or chain or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to hit this little, list here. This is our first chain. So the first chain is our chain with the compressor. So I'm going to create another chain, and this will be the dry, and I'll name it such, just so we all don't get confused. Oh, that the comp. So I have my I'm going to turn that off for now. I have my loop here, just for the sake of example. Right, so there's, not a whole lot going on in there, but it's basically a kick and a clap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of massage the audio and get the audio ready before I compress the hell out of it, and then feed the compressor with what I want. I don't want to feed it with the kick drum or the low end, because that will affect things that I don't want affected. So how I'm going to do that, I'm going to add an EQ8 beforehand, give it a nice high pass, and then I'm going to solo that so I can hear it. All right, so I'm effectively taking out the low end. So what I can do from here is compress it quite harshly, and I'll do that, and I'll do it in an exaggerated way just for the sake of example. So I'm going to bring the ratio up to maybe, 7 to 1. Let's just do that. 8 to 1 is pretty harsh, but yeah, I'm going to leave the makeup gain on, and that will really drive it up. I'm going to bring the threshold down. Notice the difference? All right, so there's that, and that's pretty harsh, and it's bringing out the tail end of the clap, making it sound a little bit bigger. This is a good kind of technique for overheads to really bring out the room a bit more. I'm gonna just leave that like that. I'm gonna add another EQ, just to see what's going on. And yeah, I will have a gentle high pass on there. All right, so there's that. Okay, that's pretty aggressive. I'm not going to play around with the attack. However, if I want to squish the transients a bit more, I'll decrease the attack. But I want to actually, yeah, let's go back to the default. I'm going to adjust the attack so I kill basically a lot of the transients. All right, so there's that. Okay, so I'm going to turn that EQ back on. So one thing I've never really discussed or went over is mixing the compressed signal into the dry signal. And with a lot of things in music production, you tend to overdo things, and things kind of accumulate, multiple things. So it's best to kind of mix things in, and especially when you're doing parallel compression or any kind of parallel processing, mix it in so you can barely hear it, and either accentuate it slightly or bring it back down. I'll give you an example of that. So right now our dry signal is going through. Pretty cool. And I want my comp to come in. I'm just going to increase the volume of that. Hitting this little speaker icon to compare before and after. It's a very rare occasion. A truck is passing by. Interesting. Another vehicle. That's frightening. Okay. Let's go back to the dry signal. And then turn the compressor on and off. Right, so there's that, and you can kind of A/B that, but I'm going to bring it up to where I can barely hear it, or till when it becomes, you know, my ears would perceive that it makes sense and it's balanced, and I'm not going to overdo it. That's kind of the trick here, not to overdo it. Right, and I would kind of do that, just have a negative 14 dB. So from there, what we have is we have a bit of low end. So what we can do is kind of save our little shelf and just bring down the low end a tiny, or the high end. Sorry, we have high end, a lot of high end material. Very micro-ish adjustment. 2 dB. Well, that's not really micro, but you know, it's not as exaggerated as we need. So to give you an example, if we didn't have that EQ on there, we would get a lot of the low end poking through. If we didn't have both EQs, we'd have the low end poking through and we get like a muddy mess. All right, so yeah, that's that. Hope you learned stuff. Take care, and what I'll do is I'll just A/B it so you know what's going on. There you go. Anyway, hope you learned stuff. Take care and have a good one.